I want to talk about Stephen Furtick's tweet that he made on is actually today, and on July the 2nd of 2020. I'm going to pull this up, and I'm going to pull up my response to it. But today, on July 2nd, 2020, Stephen Furtick posted a tweet, and I want you guys in here to get your take on this here while you're in the room with me here. But I want to show this to you, okay? Stephen Furtick tweeted, "You are already enough." And I tweeted, "That is damnable heresy. Damnable heresy." Now the problem with Furtick is that he's almost like a victim of his own popularity. I mean, the guy's very successful. The guy is very smart. He's got a lot of money. He got in a lot of hot water. He had that Johnny. He had that book that he sold, and it went completely through the roof, and it was like a New York Times bestseller. And then he went off and took the money from the book and built himself like a 20,000 square foot house there in the mountains of North Carolina, which I didn't have a problem with that. I mean, listen, if a guy has a book and people want to read his book, I mean, just in the basic principle of that, I don't have a problem with that. It's more the content of what he's saying is what the real issue is. But he's almost like he's a victim of his own success when he says that you are already enough. And so I retweeted that and said, this is basically the opposite of the gospel. That's what this is. This is the opposite of the gospel. Let me just show you what I posted here on my Twitter feed. And if you haven't followed me on Twitter yet, you're hurting my feelings by not following me. Amen. So get on there and check us out. But listen, a lot of these guys that are out there, they're preaching this self-esteem, feel-good gospel, and that's the way that they spiritually inoculate you to make you feel like you're okay. Right. But guys who are preaching, hellfire and brimstone, and preaching the truth, and preaching that you're not a good person, preaching that you're a miserable wretch. People like that, man, we get ridiculed and beat up and act like we're a bunch of legalists and Pharisees, right, and that kind of stuff. But guys like Stephen Furtick, who are preaching blatant heresy, get a free pass because they speak stuff like this. And by the way, I don't know if you guys will notice this or not, but the comments on this stuff are off the chart. Everybody's basically agreeing with me and us Guy Beaumont there, and I mean, let's see, I don't know who that is. I'm already enough. I need this right now, and man, it's not good what he's saying. There's so many people on there that are just. I mean, I agree with every bit of Mr. Clint Eastwood and the response to that tweet right there. But let's go to the Bible. Let's compare Stephen Furtick's little tweet there, which I think is heresy, and let's compare that to Romans chapter number 3 if we can. Romans chapter number 3 is the Apostle Paul wrote this chapter, and I agree with it, I mean, completely. But it says there in verse number 10, as is written, there is none righteous, no, not one. There's none that understand. There's none that seeketh after God. They are all gone out of the way. They are together become unprofitable. There's none that doeth good, no, not one. Their throat is an open sepulchre. With their tongues they have used deceit. The poison of asp is under their lips, whose mouth is full of cursing and bitterness. Their feet are swift to shed blood. And destruction and misery are in their ways, and the way of peace have they not known. There's no fear of God before their eyes. And so, I mean, you see that there, that the only thing that you are enough, you are already enough. You are already enough to destroy your own self and doom yourself to die and go to hell. That's what you are. But us Christian people, we're not good enough. I mean, you'll never even, if you read Romans chapter number 7 with the Apostle Paul, he speaks about how miserable a person he is. And I mean, just he talks about how horrible I am. And let's see here. He just talks about, oh, wretched man that I am, verse number 24 of Romans 7. Oh, wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from this body of this death? So, I mean, when it comes to Stephen Furtick saying you are already enough, and then Romans chapter 7 verse 24 where the Apostle Paul saying, oh, wretched man that I am, I mean, you have a problem here. Which one do you go with? Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to throw out Furtick, and I'm going to go with what the Bible actually says. Matter of fact, there's been many times, and I used to speak on this a lot when I was probably 10 years ago. I used to talk about this a lot. But self-esteem is not a biblical concept. Y'all ever thought about that for a little while? I mean, that is. It seems like the problem with us, and you guys go ahead and get ready to say something about this. But the problem with us, I think, is that we think too highly of ourselves.
Right.
I mean, I think so, and I think probably the reason we don't pray, the reason we don't seek God, the reason we don't read our Bible is probably because we think we don't need to. We got this. We're okay without the Lord, and then when we start wearing purple shirts on live streams and stuff like that, so it's not good. Funny. So, but yeah, Furtick, I think his crowd really. I mean, it's I don't know. You can get hooked on positivity, Brother Chris.
Right.
You ever listen to? I mean, like I would give my right arm if I could just go to a church and listen to Joel Osteen preach on hell.
Right.
Could you imagine that? That would be the craziest service ever.
I think Jesus would be coming back right then and there.
Probably would be. But I mean, that would be like the most epic episode of the Twilight Zone if I went to Joel Osteen's church and he's preaching on hell.
Where am I?
Like this ain't right. This has got to be a dream, or maybe my wife put LSD in my coffee again, or something like that. I just don't know. Yeah, well, this right here, this is from our TeeSpring store. But guys, this is actually, I don't know if y'all saw the comments this week in our YouTube channel, but I posted this coffee mug. I can do all things through a verse out of context, and that is I don't know if you've seen that, but I had a riot of a time reading the comments on this post, asking folks to get this coffee mug and get that. But this says, I can do all things through a verse out of context, and that's available in our TeeSpring store.
Your pastor appreciation week.
Yeah, get that for your pastor, guys, or get that for some heretic preacher that you know. If you got a good preacher,
Stephen Furtick.
Yeah, yeah. We need to raise some money to mail this to Charlotte for Mr. Furtick there, and God bless him. But did you guys know that I'm in the Illuminati now?
Oh yeah.
Did y'all know that?
Oh, according to who?
According to the people that saw this post. Did you know that, wife?
What about it did they think that?
Well, I posted a picture of it like this, and apparently I was covering one of my eyes, and it looked like this, and so they said, there's a sinister thing you got going there. You're in the Illuminati now, and I'm thinking, man, if I'm in the Illuminati, I had no idea. Did I type something in the internet wrong and accidentally joined the Illuminati?
You just automatically joined the Illuminati because of that.
I guess so. I mean, I thought, okay, if I've joined the Illuminati, wouldn't I get like a letter or a phone call or like
get a certificate under your
I need a certificate to put on the wall. I mean, I thought I'd get a letter or a phone call or a certificate or like a dead cat in the garage or something like that. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I would get one. I don't know, but or maybe a.
Website as a member.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. There's a website. Actually, someone showed me this, that Miley Cyrus, her Twitter page for a long time, she had like 1 million followers, but like she was following one account, and it was the Illuminati Twitter account, and it was like. Yeah, I think she did that on purpose, but anyway, and I don't. QAnon. Yeah, some of that stuff. It's crazy nonsense there. So, but I didn't know. I'm.
Somebody said they thought they caught you making a 666 sign with your left hand.
Yeah, well, I'm so nervous about my hands now. I am so hand conscious.
Put it underneath the table.
I gotta I need to. I mean, I did that video a while back on the Dirty Little Secret about the NIV Bible, and somebody commented on there today saying, Spencer, you did the number 3 wrong. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Yeah, that'll be a screenshot on the internet right there. And you did the number 3 wrong, and it gave me. I felt a dark spirit when you did that, and I'm sitting there thinking, lady, it's kind of like when I was in school. One of my teachers asked me if I was on drugs. I don't know why they would ask me that. But my response was, okay, I don't even know who you asked to even go buy drugs. I don't even know what you do with that. Right. Who do you go to buy whatever? And that's kind of how I feel about the Illuminati. I don't even know. Is there an application process?
You're gonna start getting emails from
I guess so. I don't know. But anyway.
Someone's already sent you an application.
Maybe they did. I don't know.
Send the application to Missionary Spencer Smith.
And send it to Chris Humphreys at chrishumphreys.com. And so he'll do the photo shoot for you. So, but anyway.
We need to change the subject.
But you're talking about his thing made me think of 2 Corinthians chapter 3 verse 5.
What does that say? Read that to us.
Now that we are sufficient of ourselves to think anything as ourselves, but our sufficiency is of God.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that word sufficiency means enough.
Yeah, well, the sufficiency of Scripture, the sufficiency of Christ, the sufficiency of His blood. Nowhere does it say that I'm sufficient.
Right.
Nowhere. That is like a humanistic, dangerous thing for this Furtick guy to post that out there. I mean,
could you sue him for that, for like false advertising?
No.
Oh.
No, that would if that were the case, then we would be in big trouble, all of us. But that is just such a ridiculous tweet to even put that out there. I wish he would delete that.
Like send you a message back or reply back?
No, he's got like 700,000 followers. There's no way. And so, but anyway, we'll move on here. But